Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today on this live chat with David Simney. And let me introduce myself first a little bit. My name is Alexandra, for those of you who don't know me yet. And I have been a massage therapist for the last 23 years. And I'm also practicing health coaching and functional nutrition. And one of my biggest passions over the last few years has to do with everything and anything about anti-aging. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation we're about to have with David about collagen. He's going to bring a lot of insight, a lot of value, and hopefully he's going to answer a lot of your questions you have about collagen. Either you're new to collagen or you're already taking collagen. And we're also going to talk about a product that I have been using for the last 6 months with great success to my overall health. And we're just going to talk about how it compares to other collagen products out there. Okay. But I would like to introduce David before bringing him on live. I really want to share with you his background. So I have this nice little piece of paper here, and there's all this information about him. It's just a snippet of him. But I just want to read to you where he actually comes from. And besides being my mentor, my friend, and a collagen expert, so I want to share with you what David has been up to up until now. So at the age of 14, David Simney made a bucket list of 100 things he wanted to accomplish in his life. Little did he know that this list would serve as a roadmap to his forward progression for the rest of his life. And from hitting number 10 in Rolling Stone magazine and opening for Metallica has signed musicians to global traveler to over 100 countries. David has been the tour manager to some of the biggest stars in the world. As Lady Gaga proclaimed, David, I could have never done this without you. Female artists like Lady Gaga, Lauryn Hill, and Flyleaf, never heard of it, have turned to him to lead their biggest tours. Legends like Lifehouse, Alien Ant Farm, Tower of Power, and Kings of Chaos have counted on him for their most critical performances. Wow. So David has always had a zest for life, success, and hustle along with some of the biggest names in music. After the birth of his first son in 2009, he transformed himself into a corporate direct sales executive, helping 2 international network marketing companies grow to billions in sales. Today, David serves as a speaker, mentor, music and touring consultant, and expert witness, speaker, and social retail online collagen entrepreneur, leading a team of over thousands other professionals with a global business doing millions of dollars annual sales. Wow, that's quite a mouthful. That's incredible. So I want to bring him on live and let's see what he has to say about collagen. All right. And there he is. Hi, David.
Hey, thank you so much for that intro. I didn't know you were going to read all of it, but you know
yes.
what?
It's incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for having me today. I'm excited to chat.
Thank you. So the first question I really have, David, before we talk about collagen is, how did you get from a tour manager to being what you are now? Like, you're leading a global business, which makes millions of dollars. You already come from social retail. How did you end up in social retail yourself?
Well, it was honestly by accident because, as you mentioned, I come from a music industry background. I was sneaking backstage at concerts as a little kid. My mom would drive me to the, in the Ford Granada station wagon to, the Rose Bowl or whatever concert was at. And I'd say, I'll see you in a couple hours, Mom. And then little did she know that I would run and sneak backstage, and all my friends in high school would they put me in the yearbook with pictures of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And, it was kind of my life was the music industry. And if you would have told me even, 12 years ago when I was like really, just started working with Lady Gaga and like my career was at its peak, if you would have told me, a decade from now, you'll be, running this multi-million-dollar, collagen business, I would have thought you were crazy. It was an interesting transition, but here's what it comes down to, Alex. It was family. Okay. Family is everything. And those of you that have kids and about having kids, once it's different, you have a love for, your parents, right? You're always going to love your parents.
Mm-hmm.
You have a love for your spouse, right? Or your husband or wife or whatever. But the love, once you have a baby, the love that you have for that little child, it's, I don't know how to put words on it. It's like, I just take a bullet in a second. You know, I would just stand in front of a moving train and I wouldn't even blink. And so when we had our first baby, we were actually, my wife was Lady Gaga's assistant. You know, that's how I had to see my wife, was to bring her on the road with me. And they were like sisters. And then we had our baby, like we got, you know, pregnant on the road, you know, and so we had our baby. Yeah, it's a funny story. I probably save that one for another time, but Lady Gaga was very instrumental in making sure that we had appropriate time to do the baby making. So I'm kind of blushing when I say that because it was like her thing for a while. She was like, after every show, it's like, okay, time to go make a baby. Bye-bye, guys. You know, and
seriously?
Like, oh, no.
Oh my God.
It was like so embarrassing, you know. I swear she was like a younger sister, you know. It still feels that way. But anyway, so we had our baby, and I was home from the road, and Gaga and her family and her parents, they all took good care of us. They showered us with gifts. They kept us on a full salary. I mean, they were really taking care of us. And but I got to a point where, you know, my bishop at church was like, "Hey, you're not going to watch your kid grow up. You're going to be on the road." And I just didn't want to watch my little baby grow up. You know, we wanted to have more kids, and I didn't want to watch my kid grow up on a computer screen, you know, because I knew that we were booked for the next year with concert tours. And so that's when I looked online. I went to kind of Google, and I was just on the like Craigslist or whatever, and I found a company, and I had a background in events. So I found a company in the kind of the direct sales space, which, you know, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with, because on the one hand, like, I loved that everyday people could you know, start a business for very low overhead. I loved that. I loved that my family was, my grandma, actually, when I was a little kid, you know, that industry, my grandma was able to make enough money to cover our family expenses when my grandpa lost his land leveling job. So I love that it was an equal opportunity playing field. Anybody could do it without having millions of dollars to start some business or franchise. On the other hand, the part that I didn't love about it was the people that are incentivized to promote products are also making money. And so sometimes the results could be like embellished. Some people could say, well, I took this product and now I'm off of all my stuff and no more medication. And so the product claims were like a problem for me, because I'm very like skeptical person. And so that was my industry relationship. I had worked for a multi-billion-dollar company doing their events in this industry. So I got this job. I found this woman. Her name was Ozma, who I kind of went from one superstar to another, honestly.
How long ago was that, David, then? When did you meet Ozma?
This was in 2008, 2009 timeframe. So actually 2009, December of 2009 was my first day, December 1st, actually. I remember the day very well. And this woman was incredible. She was educated at Princeton and you know, dual MBA in marketing and finance from Rice. She is, you know, from Berkeley. So she really like had a really servant kind of heart, servant leadership, but she was intelligent. She like sat at the front of the class, won all the spelling bees. I mean, this woman was brilliant, but she was manufacturing experience, formulating experience, business experience. And she was getting into this sort of direct sales space at a time during what I call the juice wars, where everybody had a fancy juice 10 years ago, but there were no patents, no like real serious clinical trials. And it was a big thing for me. It was a big thing to be able to meet someone on the verge of a massive breakthrough. And I knew that liquid collagen, not just collagen, of course, but we knew at that time it was going to blow up. It was like going to be the next big thing. We just didn't know how long it would take.
Was that the only product or the first product that she came out with, basically?
Yeah, it was at the time, it was in a wine bottle, because it has all of the good stuff from red wine, right? It's like drinking 8 bottles of red wine every day, the resveratrol, and it had all the antioxidants. So it was at the time kind of like competing with all the juice products, but here was the difference. It had 7 patents and 37 clinical trials. And Ozma and her team were the formulators, manufacturers, and were vertically integrated. So for me, I was blown away, and I was like, this is worth taking a step back. I had to take a cut in pay. I had to kind of like make a lot of sacrifices for the first couple of years. I was employee number 3. So like our first office was the size of my entryway in my current house. I mean, that's the thing. And so we really had to bootstrap it to get it started. But fortunately, Ozma and her team had already done all the heavy lifting. They had the website, they had the product, all the research. And so I just got to come in and just be Mr. Tony Robbins and go motivate people and get them all excited, about collagen. I had never been the vice president of anything in my whole life. So it was a fun.
And it was also a very new industry to you. I mean, collagen, right? I mean, I guess you had to educate yourself before.
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because the first thing I did was I said, well, if I'm going to be talking about collagen, I got to sit down with the doctors and scientists. And that's what I did. And I spent the most time with Ozma. And I remember, I never share this story, so I'm glad you asked, but I took pages and pages of notes, everything that Ozma told me about the product and the science. I wrote that down. I had 3 to 4 full pages of notes. And what's funny is, to this day, Alex, to this day, over a decade later, everything she told me on that first week when I was there, I still say it the exact same way. And
That's
what's
awesome.
funny is, thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands, say those exact same words and terms that I used to use back then that I learned from her. So
awesome. Wow.
It was an education for sure.
So while we're not talking about collagen, let's go to the most basic questions that are out there. And can you share with us, what is collagen? Where do we find it? And why should we maybe supplement with it or take it at all?
Absolutely. Well, I can see your face is glowing. You could probably see my rosy cheeks and stuff. Yes. It's not because I'm nervous. I've given over 1,000 presentations on collagen. So it's those posts on Facebook where people say, what could you talk for 30 minutes about without notes? I'm like, I can talk for 3 hours.
I know you can.
So I love the question. It never gets old. And you know what never gets old are the results that people see from it. That never gets old. Yes. So it's a really exciting product. But collagen, it's funny. It's mainstream, right? We've gone global.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, 20 years ago, people thought it was just something that was for your skin. They didn't really understand the role that collagen played. They didn't know that, obviously, collagen is the most abundant protein in your entire body. We know the skin is the largest organ in the body. So the synergy between collagen and skin, I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to use like lotions that had collagen in it. And she said, collagen and elastin, those are good for your skin. But I never knew the role that collagen played in your body. It's in your connective tissue. It's in your organs. It's in your joints. It's in the cartilage. It's literally all over your body, the most abundant protein. And here's the thing. In about our mid-20s and mid-30s, we're losing collagen. And we hit age 40, every year it's at least 1% or higher loss of collagen.
Depressing.
And so, yeah, it's pretty sad. We're going from a plum to a prune as we age. Right? So that's collagen. And I should say this. Whenever I talk about collagen, I always talk about hyaluronic acid. I know the subtitles on that are never going to they're never going to be able to spell it because I can't spell it at all either. But hyaluronic acid is in conjunction with collagen because we're losing that from the day that we're born. And it's literally found anywhere there's moisture in the body. The vitreous humor of your eyes is 95% HA, the follicles of your hair, the synovial fluid, all of that is in your body, even your throat, right? Your hyaluronic acid. So it's anywhere there's moisture in your body. So as we age, we go from a plum to a prune and we shrivel up, and we're not getting it. People are not getting collagen and hyaluronic acid and some of the other, what they call GSGs, like glycosaminoglycans, but we're not getting those in our diets. People don't eat the whole bone of a chicken anymore. If you go over to like India or different parts of the world, they don't let any part of an animal go to waste, right? They eat the whole thing, the rind and the marrow and the cartilage and all that. So they get more collagen intuitively in their diets. But, since the 80s, we've been all about boneless and skinless and none of that other stuff. They just throw all that stuff away. And so,
but do you believe, David, that you actually can cover if you eat bones and bone broth is still very big out there, right? I have clients who drink bone broth every day, but I don't believe they can actually really cover their collagen intake they need to replenish, you know.
No, absolutely not. But here's what it is, though. You're talking about the diets that we had in the 40s and 50s. Do you remember the book Chicken Soup for Your Soul? Do you know, like, you know how chicken soup for years has been like a remedy? It's literally, you get sick, what do? You have chicken soup. So that stuff that floats to the top, that's the collagen, that's the HA, that's all that stuff. But when you're eating that every day, but who eats chicken soup every single day for all 3 meals? That's what you would have to do. And so people don't do that. Can you help your diet? Can you help get more protein and get more of the stuff that you need by having a diet high in bone broth? And, you know, some of those bodybuilders, I talked to a bodybuilder the other day, he's like, I sucked the marrow out of the bone, which that's disgusting. But like, honestly, that's what you would have to do to even come close. And because all of our bodies are different, we all have different diets. We all have different levels of stress and water intake and exercise and genetics and all of that. We have to supplement with collagen. There's just no other option. And so what the next question logically is, okay, so what's the best type of collagen? And I don't know if that's where you were going to go, but I mean, I'd love to touch on that.
We're going to, but what you just actually brought up, the question is, that comes to me is like, how do you absorb it? So, because I know our liquid collagen is very unique in its absorption as well. So, you know, you can put collagen on your skin and you can have powder collagen. That's what I have been doing for 15 years. And honestly, David, I had no idea you're supposed to get results with collagen, honestly. So I was just taking it because it was a fad, right? So I wasn't even expecting anything. I was just thinking, okay, other people doing it, I'm doing it. So now I got introduced to the liquid collagen, and here I'm seeing results within 3 weeks. And not just for my hair. That's actually why I started it, because I started losing a lot of hair because of health issues. And it was other stuff too. Being a massage therapist, my joints are constantly hurting. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting burned out. So that took care of it. And I had no idea actually that collagen is supposed to give you benefits, you know. So I would like to I would like to hear from you this whole absorption thing, you know, the exact weight, how it can be absorbed in your cells. Can you talk about that in order to get really maybe 100% or maybe a little bit less of the collagen you're taking?
Absolutely. Well, again, you're hitting on all my favorite questions and my favorite topic, because, you know, collagen is a buzzword, right? And so when you naturally hear collagen, you think all collagen's the same. It's like saying milk, right? But there's different kinds of milk. There's non-fat, there's low fat, 1%, 2%, there's whole milk, there's organic milk, there's non-organic. I mean, there's all different kinds of milk. So you can't just say collagen is collagen. In fact, you know, the sources are the most important thing. So when I talk about 3 things really that people need to understand about collagen. And again, I love educating the public because they just don't know. You go to the store and you see a fancy label and it looks really nice and it says grass-fed collagen. And you think, oh, that's so good. There's these little cows in a pasture and they're finding the collagen from the cow and maybe the pig. And people don't realize where this stuff is from. So I want to talk about the source and then, of course, how it's different. So first of all, the source of the collagen is everything. Most collagen comes from cows or pigs, right? Don't talk to me about vegan collagen because you cannot get collagen from plants. I'm sorry,
or
vegan.
Marine collagen.
I wish you could. I wish you could get it from plants, but you just cannot get it. You can get collagen boosters, like, you know, you can take vitamin C, things like that, but you can only get collagen boosters. Then you mentioned marine collagen. First of all, I don't know if you've seen the Netflix documentary Seaspiracy, but just so you know, all the like major bodies of water in the entire world are being literally contaminated with radiation, with plastic micro beads like modules or whatever they call them, beadlets, and they're microscopic and they're infusing everything. They're getting into the fish, they're getting into the system, they're everywhere. And it's really scary because, you know, the bioidentical situation between like a fish and a human, it's just not, there's just no correlation there. So when people talk about marine collagen, I'm going like, where's your studies? Where are you validating your claims? What's funny is there was a company recently that came out making claims about marine collagen. And literally every claim that they had, and this was like one of those Johnny come latelys who are just like late to the party, as opposed to like, we're the bandwagon, we've been doing it for over a decade. But every claim they had was like verbatim from our website. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. So when you have a little bit of success, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon, but those marine sources, I call it fish juice because it's just ineffective. It's like from the scales of the fish, and you don't know what kind of fish, you don't know what body of water. It's just scary and sketchy. So avoid marine collagen at all costs. And so the two that we're left with are cows and pigs. So let me just break it down. And then I'll tell you what our source is and why it's so special. So cows and pigs, bovine or porcine, right? That's the technical name. Yeah. So here's what happens. So when you go to like Costco or you go to like, one of the grocery stores and you see that name brand on there of like the cheap powders, here's where they get their collagen. And I try to avoid mentioning any kind of name brands because ultimately they all share similar sources. So these are slaughterhouses, right? Butchers. And what they do is they take all the parts of the cows and the pigs. Okay. And so plug your ears if you're squeamish right now. They take the hooves, they take the snouts, they take the eyelids, they take the trachea, they take the hooves and the gross parts of the cow, the tail. Okay. And then even grosser, they'll take like the anus of the cow, like the butt. Ooh. and they'll put it all the stuff that people don't eat, right? That they can't sell, all the things they can't sell. They put it all into a pile and grind it up into a powder, and they sell it for pennies on the dollar. Now, these collagen companies, by the way, they're not formulators, these companies. They're marketing companies. Their job is to sell you, sell your heart, sell your terms like grass-fed and pasture-raised. Their job is to make you feel good about your purchase. But what they don't tell you is if a cow had mad cow disease or some kind of weird disease or a growth, it all went in there. Why? The FDA cannot regulate supplement companies in the way that they regulate even pharmaceuticals. They don't go to the slaughterhouse. They don't check every cow. They do random audits, and that's the best that they can do. And so you don't know what you're getting, and you're getting the worst of the worst. And then they think because either they hydrolyze it or they do a certain process that it's okay. But I'm here to tell you, the bovine and porcine collagen is not bioidentical to humans. So you would have to take 10 grams. You would have to take 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 times the amount. So when people do like label comparisons with us, they're always like, well, I got you. Like they love to do the smoking gun. Like, well, this company has, this many grams. The reason why they have so many grams is because the body can't even absorb it. It passes right through them, especially if it's in a powder or a capsule. And there's fillers in the powders and all that. So let me get to the point. The source is everything, and the delivery system is everything. So we have a liquid collagen HA matrix, and it's, we know the capillaries right under the tongue is the highest absorbable place in your entire body. So taking it submucosally is the best way. The liquid's like a straight IV of collagen HA matrix, right? And then the source, we have the molecular weight, which is what I know you wanted to know about. If the molecule's too big, right, it won't absorb. If the molecule's too small, it won't absorb. So let me give you an idea. If you get injected with any of the injectables out there, right, for fillers, right, any of those fillers, those are hyaluronic acid, but they're large, heavy molecules. They're meant to sit under your skin, not absorb. And so like, but if you just drank one of those fillers, don't do that. You could die. But if you drank it, I mean, Botox, the tox stands for toxin. Yeah. But if you drank it, it would pass right through you. It wouldn't absorb and go into your bloodstream and help your body, stimulate dermal fibroblasts and help healthy cartilage and connective tissues and help smooth out fine lines and wrinkles. It wouldn't do all that naturally. And so with the molecular weight, we have the sweet spot, 7 patents, 37 clinical trials. It's between 1.3 and 1.8 kilodaltons. That's the molecule weight, the measure of molecule weight and size. Okay. So it's really about 1.5 as the average, and your body absorbs it like a sponge. And so it has a 12-hour half-life. So you want to take it basically every 12 hours and get
I
it.
wanted to ask you about that. Why is that, David? Why the 12 hours in between the servings?
Well, if you, the biggest bit, I love analogies. The best analogy I have is like, if you took a sponge, a dry sponge on the kitchen counter and you pour water on it, right? You're going to reach a point where the sponge is saturated. It's not going to absorb anymore. But if you come back 12 hours later, right, that sponge is dry again and it's ready for more. The body's the same way. You can reach the point of diminishing returns where you're just throwing your money away. If you just drink a whole bottle of liquid collagen, okay, great, good for you. But your body will only absorb so much. So you have to just keep feeding it on a regular basis, just like a sponge or, that's the best analogy that I've seen.
So we have seen that people are seeing results the longer they take it. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm still taking the same amount twice a day. So what is changing? Why are my results I can't wait. I'm only on it for 6 months, but I'm hoping to eventually look like 20 again. But, why is it getting better and better and better? I mean, I've seen, some of our team members where they're like in their 60s and they look like they're 40. Well, so how come this is just getting better and better and better? What is doing that?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because there's two things that come to mind when you say that. When I first started, remember that first week that I started and I sat down with Ozma, within that first month, I'll never forget, a very high profile holistic medicine, doctor stopped by our office unannounced. I don't even think Ozma was there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is here and he was world famous. And we were in a tiny little HVAC center where they make heating and air conditioning units. And it was a tiny little, like a subdivision in an industrial park with a tiny little sign over, we were like nobody. And this big holistic doctor comes in and says, I'd like to try your product, and it's like, oh my gosh, here we go. So I poured him a shot and we sat in my office. And as I explained the science and the technology, kind of like I'm doing here, he was slowly sipping on, at the time we had a 2-ounce shot and he was sipping. And I remember he would take the smallest little sips and for 30 minutes he sipped on it. And at the end, he finally polished it off. And I said, I mean, how did you like the taste? Was it okay? I was nervous because I thought he didn't like it. That's why he was taking so long to drink it. And he said, oh no, he said, it's very, very good. Tastes very good. People are going to love this. He said, I was just letting it absorb so submucosally under my tongue. That's why I was taking such small sips. And I thought, wow, I got to remember this story. The other thing he told me is he said, a product like this, you don't want to be talking about the clinical trials for 90 days. You want to be talking about what can happen 2 and 3 years after taking this product. And I said, but
we're talking. Yeah.
But I said, I can't sell that. I can't go to somebody. This is a very expensive product. I mean, it's the best. It's like putting 91 octane in your car. And I said, I can't sell a 2-year thing. I got to promote the clinical trials. And he said, well, listen, you're going to see it when you talk about the multi-year benefits of this product. You're going to start to see results that will be off the charts. And sure enough, he was right. There are people to this day that started in 2010. It's now 2021. They've been taking it every day for 11 years, and they have not aged a day, a single day. I see them at events. I see them on Zooms and meetings, and it's unbelievable. It's like literally stops the aging process. It's crazy. And
it actually stops. It's not just gonna it's not gonna stand still where I'm at now. Let's say I'm 48. I'm looking the way I'm looking, and it's because I see it, I feel it, and I see it myself. And I'm only 6 months into it. But it's incredible to me that it continues to work for me. It's gonna continue making me feel better. It just blows my mind. It just there's no other supplement out there. It doesn't matter what I take, vitamin D, vitamin E, A, no matter what I take, nothing touches that. Well, that gives me that effect.
And Alex, with any supplement, you always have to give the disclaimer. I mean, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Correct. Here's what we are seeing. We are seeing a product that we know that it helps with joints. We know that it helps with hair, healthy hair, supporting the follicles of the hair, hydrating and nourishing the follicles of the hair so that it's like watering and fertilizing the crops. It just helps them be healthier. It helps with your eyes, the vitreous humor with, your eyes hydrating and all of that. It helps with your gums, your gingival health. It helps strengthen the gingival fibers. It helps with your joints, your connective tissues, and of course your skin. So we know it's doing so many things. And so for me, people tell me like, well, do I have to be on this product the rest of my life? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Do you need to drink water the rest of your life? It's kind of like, well, yes. So the next step naturally is, okay, let me figure out how to get this for the most affordable cost price. And, the company has really 3 different ways to like save money. You put it on a monthly shipment, save money. And then the more you order, then the bigger your credits get. So they give you like loyalty credits. And then on top of it, they give you a code. You just tell your friends about it, and then you get free product credit. So there's like 3 things you can do to get this thing way cheaper than anything. And then periodically there are sales and things like that. So I'm really excited now because we had very humble beginnings, and now we're in over 30 countries. We're doing, over 1 million bottles a month. I think we're doing, over almost 500 million in sales every single month from,
amazing.
I mean, it's just insane watching what's going on. And the most important thing, Alex, that I see is we were the pioneers. We were the ones that won all the awards, and still to this day are winning all the awards for our technology and our science and our patents. But yet, all of these companies are flooding the marketplace on Facebook, on Instagram, on everywhere. If you mention the word collagen, you're going to get bombarded by all these pop-up ads, and it's all me too, cheap, copycat, no patents, no research, cheapo forms of collagen with a fancy marketing label, and they always find some little way to spin it where it's like, oh, it's multi-collagen. Like, let me get this straight. You want to take a plant, a fish, you want to take a cow and a pig, put it in a blender, and you think it's going to make it more bioavailable? No. Single source, hydrolyzed, non-GMO, broken down to peptides your body can absorb, collagen, hyaluronic acid, matrix, naturally occurring, with chondroitin sulfate for flexibility. So you've got like this patented product that no one else can touch. They just can't touch it. So we're running with it. We've made a great business from it. And more than anything, the lives that are changing by just staying on this product. I'll end with this and then whatever other questions. But I heard the other day a lady that said, well, I tried your product and it didn't work for me. And my question is, did you work for the product? Let me say it again. If you think this doesn't work, did you work for the product? Right? Are you taking a supplement and actually doing your body a favor? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough water? Are you eating, fast food every single day? Are you taking care of your body to allow a natural product? It's not some quick fix miracle cure, right?
Correct.
You're not slicing your face open and injecting stuff. You gotta give your body the best environment to see the success. Did you take it faithfully? Did you take it every 12 hours? Did you take enough of it? Did you take it for the full 90 days that we do the clinicals on? And we do have a 30-day money back guarantee if people just don't like the flavor or whatever. But I tell people, take your before picture before you start this product and take it once a month. Don't show it to anybody. But take it and start to write down your issues on a scale of 1 to 10, like, oh, my shoulder hurts. It's a 9, right? Okay, great. Write that down and track the results and the progress and see how you're feeling after 30, 60, 90 days.
Awesome. So you said one word that I want to hook into, and what you said was single source. I think this is really important because you talked about the bovine and you talked about, the other sources of collagen and why are they being actually contaminated, right? So can you just touch on that single source that liquid collagen offers and why this is important that it actually comes from that single source and it comes from chickens? And please, maybe absolutely. You can explain to people that the chickens are not being slaughtered or,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't really go around even really talking much about the source. It's the very tip of the wishbone of the chicken, this chicken sternum. And that
That's
is where
incredible.
the highest concentration of bioavailable HA, chondroitin sulfate, and collagen in the matrix, the single source, as I mentioned, non-GMO, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, North American and European suppliers. So we only use the best, and it's a byproduct. So the byproduct means we're not out there, slaughtering chickens or, animals or any of that. It's literally almost like a form of recycling, but here's the difference. We know the very specific spot of what we're getting, and we use numerous, multiple suppliers, but we are able to fully vet and control that source. So we're vertically integrated, meaning that from the third-party multi-generational farms in the Pacific Northwest area, like say around the Spokane area, from those fields where we grow most of the antioxidants and the fruits, the berries that help make up our blend, right? All the way through to the finished manufacturing process, we have a hand in that process, and we know what's going on with that. So you can rest assured that, we have a clean, viable source that when you put it in your body's a temple. And what's crazy to me is what people will spend money on. I say this all the time, but they'll plunk down fast food and processed food and stuff, but then all of a sudden you put a health product in front of them and they become researchers. I think it's really funny. But those people who are watching this, if you've made it 36 minutes into this presentation, you clearly want to do your homework. And so just rest assured that, like, with a 10 to 12 year pedigree of this product being a category creator, and I've literally sat steps away from where it's been manufactured. My first office was literally on the other side of the manufacturing facility. So all I did all day long was bring people in to see the product being manufactured. You had to put on the hood and the goggles and the robe and then the face mask and all that stuff. But I can tell you it's top notch. Let me give you one tiny little thing that I don't think I've ever told anybody, at least in half a decade. You have to use some water to make products, right? Well, this company didn't just use tap water, like tap water or filtered water, right? Do you know the kind of stuff that's in tap water? I used to get a notice in the mail from the city of Los Angeles that said, here's what's in your tap water. It's like a legal notice, and you read it and it's like arsenic and lead and blah, 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 like all this parts per million. And you're like, how is that possible? Well, it's not going to kill you, but it's legal. And I couldn't even believe that. Well, this company legally could use the basic filtered water, but that wasn't enough. They went and invested in this 6-figure oxygenization machine from Germany that was stainless steel. It looked like a pipe organ. And they filtered the water through that. And then they did carbon filtration. They did reverse osmosis. They did all this filtration. Nobody ever saw that. I always pointed it out because I went, this company is all about a #1 A grade product. It's definitely not going to be cheap. And this is what they went through, but nobody knows that stuff. You don't just buy a bottle and you're like, oh, okay, what went into this? But when you truly know, like I do, you have no doubt in the sourcing, the manufacturing, and the efficacy of our product, because it's backed by so many years of proven results, proven science, and proven manufacturing facilities that have only gotten better as we've grown. So
I think the lack is just really in education, David. I mean, like myself, 15 years I was on powder collagen, and I didn't even know I was supposed to get an effect. I mean, nobody told me, and I didn't even look at the label, David. To collagen, it says collagen on it. I guess it's going to be fine. Didn't know what I was taking all those years. Eventually, when people talked about me, hey, you should see benefits. No, I don't. And really, the liquid collagen fell into my lap, literally. I wasn't even looking for it at this point because I got so fed up. But I really think, because I'm doing this all day in my practice, that education is everything. And people need to start really researching and asking the right questions. And I'm really glad we have this chat here, because you brought so much value to this. I can't even tell you, David. That was amazing. Seriously,
well, Alex,
that was amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to be your first interview, and I'm excited to watch your practice and your business grow. You're so committed. to helping other people, and it really
I
shows
am.
through. You're so humble. You're so like, you're just such a servant. Like, you love helping people get better, and you don't care what they need to do. And the fact
Thank
that,
you.
you know, you connected your brand to our product is truly an honor. So I love
Thank you
working
so
with
much.
you. You inspire me, and let's do this again sometime. Thanks for having me.
Yes. And I let you go now. I know you're busy. So I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. And I guess we see each other soon on some Zoom meeting, right?
We will see each other soon. And if anybody wants to try this product, just reach out to Alex, reach out to whoever tagged you in this video, get the details. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. And we just would love for you to try this for at least 90 days and watch the results for yourself. Thank you, Alex. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, David. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, guys, that was incredible. So I'm really happy we had this conversation with David. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this and you had fun with it and you were listening up until the end. And if you haven't seen the live, then hopefully you get to catch the replay. So if you want to reach out about the product, if you want to have more information, right below that video is my website, www.beyondbody.net. You can get a hold of me through that. You can also reach out via email, which is alexcampsey@hotmail.com. You can also reach me through Facebook and Instagram. So I'm pretty much everywhere. So I really hope we brought a lot of value today. I definitely learned even more than I already knew. That was incredible, all the stuff he had to say. So yeah, that was a wonderful interview. So I thank you so much for watching, and I wish all of you a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Bye, guys.